Hello everyone and welcome to day 8 of the 30-day film challenge. It took a little 2-day break, but I did review Lovebirds yesterday, so if you guys want to check out that review, it'll be in the little iCards or the description or wherever. You guys can watch my review and my thoughts on Lovebirds, which is brand new to Netflix. So let's just jump right into day 8, which the prompt for this one is a movie where the soundtrack is better than the movie itself. So I was kind of bouncing around between a few movies. I was thinking of picking Guardians of the Galaxy 2, which, believe it or not, was actually my first review ever on this channel. So if you go back and watch my first video, it'll be for Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and I've been kind of wanting to do reviews for things that I haven't reviewed yet, and I'm not sure. I didn't actually look at it. I was planning on looking up to see if I did a review on this one, but I don't think I did. So I watched The Greatest Showman today. And this is one of those movies that I took so long to watch. I think it came out in December of 2017. Yeah, because it came out the same year as The Last Jedi, and along with Jumanji. And those two movies, because I work in a movie theater, they stayed in theaters for longer than Star Wars. Like a month after Star Wars had already been gone, these two movies were still there. And it took me until that, like the last week that we had Greatest Showman in like February, maybe even like reaching into March area, where I finally saw this movie, and I liked it. I enjoyed it. But what really stood out to me was the music in this movie. I believe it is some of the same writers as La La Land, and the music in this film is just incredible. I love almost every single song in this movie. As for the movie itself, I think it's great up until a certain point, and then it gets good, and then it kind of falls off and I lose interest, but then it ends solid once again. So let's just jump straight into The Greatest Showman. Obviously, if you haven't seen this movie, I've been doing spoilers for all these 30-day film challenge videos, so spoilers for The Greatest Showman, if you care. But what I really wanted to talk about in this video was these songs, of course. So the first song that I really, really love, obviously the opening scene is excellent. I love how this movie opens. It opens really good with the music coming in and the titles coming in. It does kind of similar thing that 10 Cloverfield Lane did, is whenever the title came on, it kind of drowned out all the sound. Really good stuff. But A Million Dreams, the second song that plays in this movie, especially when it has the young P.T. Barnum up until he's a grown-up Hugh Jackman and Michelle Williams, that song is incredible. That's probably my favorite song in this entire movie. And when his daughter starts singing it, just like maybe 5-10 minutes later, I kind of teared up the first time I saw it in theaters. And I'm not going to lie about that. I really did. I got emotional. It was so good. And then from this point on, you kind of see him building his circus and bring all the people together. And I love all this stuff. To figure out how he's going to be making money, how he starts a museum at first and just not working at all. And then how he kind of gets the idea to take unique and extraordinary people and put them all together in a show, which is great. It's kind of a little mixed thing when you think of the actual P.T. Barnum and how exploitative he was and how much of a terrible person he really was, but let's just ignore all of that and watch this as a movie. It's a great thing. And this, of course, leads to the Come Alive song, which I think is very underrated. Nobody really talks about that song, and I really love it because that's the first time where they all get together and they're doing their show, and the circus has really begun. And this, of course, leads in to meeting Zac Efron's character, which, I enjoy him for the most part in this movie. I don't think he has enough meat for his character to really know who he is or know his character, but he's given much more than everybody else in the movie. And this introduction song with him and Hugh Jackman in the bar is a lot of fun. And this is probably the last great moment in this movie for me. I think from here on out, it kind of teeters a little bit, but up from the beginning until this part, I am like locked into this movie. I'm really enjoying it. I'm having a lot of fun with especially the music scenes, because the choreography, like I said, in every single one of these songs I've mentioned so far, even the ones that I haven't yet, are all just perfect. The choreography and the way that it's shot and the direction, and of course the shadows and the lights with the Million Dreams song, it's really well done. And this movie is very well put together, and it's really solidly filmed musical, which I can really appreciate. But getting to the things that kind of make me fall off this movie a little bit is a whole subplot with going to Europe, meeting the Queen, and then Jenny Lin's character, who she doesn't really add much. And I know she was supposed to kind of inject some conflict into the Hugh Jackman's character, but it just kind of appears, and then it's kind of hinted at that they have some sort of side affair that I think was real in real life, but this movie doesn't really treat it as seriously as everything else, and so it just doesn't really matter by the end of it, because by the time he goes off and does his own thing with Jenny Lin, you don't really care, and it just goes away really fast. And the fact that it goes away really fast is what kind of kills it for me, because her song is excellent. I love her song. Again, this is a movie with a great soundtrack that's so much better than the movie, because the conflict in this movie really isn't strong enough, because they try to focus on this aspect, which really does flesh out Hugh Jackman's character. But the conflict that I really cared about is the whole conflict with the riots in the street going against the actual circus, and we don't get enough of this. And when it does the This Is Me song, which is awesome, it deserved the Oscar that it won for the most part. I think the song from Coco, Remember Me. I think that one should have won. But, of course, you know, This Is Me is a great song. I play it on the radio all the time, and it's probably overplayed to me to a point where I kind of like the underrated songs more in this movie than the more popular ones, like this one. But, you know, that's a conflict that I really wish I cared more about, and I wish the film focused more on it. And I know this is kind of a lighthearted, kind of softened look at this entire situation where you really could have dug deep and gotten a little, no, I don't want to use the word darker, but you could have been taking it a lot more seriously, and I think this film could have really benefited from that. But since this is a really lighthearted and really uplifting movie, I think you can really appreciate the fact that it kind of goes in that way, and if it was a lot more harsh and serious, it kind of would have ruined that lighthearted and feel-good kind of tone that this movie has that not a lot of movies have. This is a really feel-good movie, which, again, that is something that I can praise about this movie. So, overall, for this film, there's a lot of high points, there's a lot of kind of mid-range points, but there's nothing really low that I hate about this movie. It's just kind of, it starts off great, and then kind of dips down, and it ends off with a bang with a couple of other songs that are great from now on. It's an excellent song, like I said, underrated, and of course the very ending where he passes on the baton to Zac Efron's character is great. I love the ending of this movie and how he decides to spend more time with his family, because that was the characters that were really fleshed out, whereas everybody else, the part of the circus, nobody was really fleshed out besides Zac Efron's character. Zendaya gets a little bit, but that relationship between Zendaya and Zac Efron is kind of just okay. The song that they have together is great. I love that song. It was my favorite song in this movie. It's kind of changed since, because that one got really popular as well, and I stopped caring about that song. But overall, their relationship just really is not fleshed out, and I think that's the biggest issue I have with this movie. Is the only characters fleshed out is Zac Efron and Hugh Jackman, and they're honestly the two most boring, generic people in this movie, because you have these awesome characters that could be really interesting, like Zendaya's character, or her brother, for instance. So those are my updated thoughts on The Greatest Showman. Like I said, I'm not sure if I did a review on it in the past, but if I did, I'll put it in the little corner or whatever. But thanks guys for watching this video. Subscribe to the channel to see more of the 30-day film challenge. Tomorrow I'm doing a video on, I think, a movie that you hated that everybody else liked, and I'm not sure if everybody else liked it. I know there's a few people who also hated it just as much as me, but I think I'm going to have to rewatch Zombieland Double Tap. I might make myself do it. If you see tomorrow that I change the video to do something else, that means I picked a movie that I hate less than Zombieland Double Tap. I hate that movie with a passion. I know some people like it, but oh my gosh, that movie's atrocious. But if you guys want to see even more thoughts, I did a rant video for 10 minutes on that movie in the past that is just, it's great. Go watch it. It's 3 in the morning when I filmed it, so I'm delusional. I don't really know what I'm saying. So I'll try to bring a little more confidence in what I'm saying for that review tomorrow. So thanks guys for watching this video. Subscribe to the channel. Leave a like. Comment below what you guys think of The Greatest Showman, or any movie that you think the soundtrack is better than the movie itself. I know some people put Baby Driver, or some people put Guardians of the Galaxy, or some movies like that. I'm curious to know what you guys think. So thanks guys for watching, and I hope to see you all in my next one.